Hello there, everybody over there in the YouTube world. Thank you very much for checking out today's video. Once again, my name is Sculpted, and this is just a quick video I wanted to make for you guys. I feel like it's a topic that is still very much so discussed, especially with those in the beginner realm of this game. And that is the topic of motion inputs versus simple inputs, why one should go for one or the other. And I just wanted to kind of, with my experience, explain and talk about this topic for you guys, and hopefully it can clear up some confusion. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this video is not going to be long whatsoever because there honestly isn't a whole lot to discuss about it, but I just wanted to go about and clarify some things. So really just to get down to the bits and pieces of this, which are very, very large. It may as well just be like a 4-piece puzzle here. So what is a motion input and what is a simple input? So a motion input is when it's the classic style of fighting games where in order to do your special moves, you had to go about actually doing a motion with the stick, or in my case, my buttons, because I don't have a stick on my fight box, I'm using a hitbox, where you have to do a certain pattern of character movements in order to do your special move before inputting the special move button, essentially. So people would refer to this as either quarter circle forwards, quarter circle back, half circle forwards. There's also a dragon punch motion where it's almost like a back and forth. So in a lot of fighting games, or if almost all fighting games up to this point, implemented these motion inputs one way or another. But however, in DNF Duel, there seems to be a trend of games actually providing an option where you don't have to do those motion inputs. This is actually going to be coming in Street Fighter 6 as well, but instead you just have to push a specific button and a direction. So a lot more like how Smash Bros is, where if you tilt the analog stick, or if you push it a certain direction and push a button, then it causes a certain attack to happen. So it seems like these fighting games, like these 2D fighting games like DNF Duel, are starting to follow that trend a bit more. So now, to be able to determine why you should do one or not the other, and what does it look like when you do one or the other, it's actually very, very obvious. So the first thing you do want to pay attention to, if you look on the left side of my striker here, is that when I do a motion, or excuse me, when I do a simple input, which I'm just gonna go ahead and do her 6 MS move, which is her shoulder charge. As you can tell, I do the move. I spend exactly 50 mana in order to use it, and it's as simple as that. However, when I do a motion input, which in this case, for Striker for her shoulder push, it would be quarter circle forward. So essentially doing a 2-3-6 motion on my controller here. 2-3-6, and then pushing the mana special. If you look on the left side of Striker, you can see that there is a word that pops up. It says good. It either flashes green, it either flashes blue. I'm not entirely sure what depicts which one it's going to show. But when you do the motion input, you can know for a fact that you did the motion input is when the word good pops up. Now, if you also pay attention to my meter for when I do a motion input compared to a simple input, if I do the simple input now, you'll notice that there is a tiny bit of a delay in the recharge speed of your mana doing the simple input. It seems like there's a bit of a like a repercussion. Like it punishes you for doing the easier input by delaying your mana regeneration by about a second compared to doing the motion. So if I do the simple right now, you can tell there's a little bit of a pause, which with the motion input there is as well, but it tends to regenerate about a second sooner. So here's the motion. It's almost instantaneous, whereas with the simple, you do wait about a second. Now, why does this matter? Or why should you worry about doing this? So here's the thing. When it does come to either doing motion input or simple inputs, there will be, in higher level play, very specific situations when using motion inputs as to opposed to using simple inputs will be a detrimental, or will have a detrimental effect on the game and what the outcome of that game will be. Whether it be you not being able to complete a combo because you don't have the necessary mana because you had to deal with that 1 second delay, which you needed that 1 second to not be there to get enough mana to do that combo, or in a situation like me, who as a striker player, striker has the ability to break an entire guard gauge as long as there is mana to do so. And if I were to be using the simple inputs compared to the motion inputs, I probably wouldn't have the mana necessary to break my opponent's guard. Or, on the opposite side of things, if my opponent in this entire time, if we were to be fighting, were to be using simple inputs, whereas I am using motion inputs, it is definitely going to be obvious in these higher level plays where you will notice that the opponent always significantly has less mana compared to his predecessor, or in this case me, who is always using motion inputs. Now, does this matter for lower level play or people playing this game casually? To be completely honest, no. The rate of which the mana comes back, even if it's just a 1 second delay, you're probably never going to notice, because 1 second is not significant enough, especially for lower level plays and beginners and people playing casually, for it to really affect anything. You know, your combos might not be as long. You know, people probably don't know guard break combos, so you don't have to really worry about it, but definitely in the higher level plays, it is something to take into consideration. And the funny thing is too, just to kind of point out, there are some combos, or at least with striker, which right now there is a bug in the game. I do believe that Arc System Works and Neopol Nexon are going to work on getting this fixed, but this game currently, as of the date of me uploading this video, actually has a bug where sometimes certain directions or certain inputs get prioritized over others. So when I go for Striker's Awakening combo, where when I get the opponent in the corner and I go into a shoulder to 1-inch punch, into shoulder, into 1-inch punch, if I'm doing motion inputs for that, more times often than not, the combo drops because of this bug. So right now, I actually do only use simple inputs for that exact situation to make sure my combo doesn't drop. So if it is easier for you to use simple inputs so that you know, so you don't have to worry about dropping your combos, then obviously getting your damage out and getting your combo is more important than dropping it and potentially losing the match. However, I would encourage you guys, for all of you who are curious on what to go with, is to just go ahead and learn. Keep in mind how to do the simple inputs, obviously, but learn how to do the motion inputs and how to do them consistently, accurately, effectively. So then that way, if you do start with the simple inputs, you don't have to worry about completely changing your muscle memory and try to learn motion inputs, which is going to be harder to do than just simply learning the motion inputs, because you're trying to essentially reteach yourself how to ride a bike, especially when in the heat of the moment, trying to do your combos and fighting against another person trying to kill you. So there you guys have it. That is the difference between the motion inputs and the simple inputs. Again, there really wasn't much to go over, but just to resolve any confusion, because people, especially brand new, are still talking about this, and people who may just be getting into the game still need to figure this out. So please provide this video to you know, people in that situation, and I really do hope it helped you guys out. And of course, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.